What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, here on Industry Talk, and welcome to Primetime Pod, the hottest information resource outlet for all things entertainment, breaking news, celebrity interviews, and the hot topics of the day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime.
Okay. And he got prime time vibe. Make sure you check it
How the fuck you think he is? He's 8 now.
And second feel a whole lot.
Now I'm not trying to get a little messy with you.
Time is money.
They go trap.
What's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, coming at you all the way live. I'm in your space and I'm in your face, and I'm definitely blessed to be living on this beautiful day, March 26, 2026. We are live at 5 here on the Primetime Network. I am Big G, your host here on Industry Talk. And we'll be joined with, of course, our resident comedian and my good friend, comedian Jarrell Braswell, here in just a little bit. You guys have been asking for the next episode of our conversation with Mr. Damon Vega. I reached out to him. He reached out to me. We reached out to each other. We collaborated on a date. And today, ladies and gentlemen, is the day. We're going to get an opportunity to explore and examine more of Mr. Vega's story, his situation, a continued conversation. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the display, in the comment sections. If you have any questions, please send them my way. Resilience, ladies and gentlemen, fortitude, intestinal fortitude, empowerment, motivation, and a drive and a desire to want to live, to want to be free. You just don't understand how precious those words are until your freedom is taken from you. 27 years of a man's life of incarceration. For something that he did not do. It's a very hard pill to swallow. The Duke University Innocence Project took on the case, took on the challenge, exhausted all of the resources. And at the end of the day, Mr. Damon Vega is free. Yes, he's free. Because of a lot of mix-ups, things disappearing, evidence being destroyed. The 27 years in an institution. And not only 27 years in an institution, once you've been found innocent of these charges, and the parole board says we're just going to dismiss this and release you. You've been released into the world with nothing because you're still having to deal with a first-degree murder charge that's attached to you for the rest of your life until you get that exonerated, expunged, and pardoned. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Mr. Vega is in a situation where life is very difficult. Yes, he's living. Definitely, he's living. He's making a way just like any man would do. But in his own words, hey man, sometimes I wanted to go back to prison because they ain't making this shit easy out here. 27 years incarcerated. I'm trying to make the adjustments. And life is hard. Finding jobs and hitting that little button at the bottom that says that I'm a convicted felon and explaining what I've gone to prison for because my record isn't exonerated. I have to let you know what it is I'm carrying in my jacket. There's a lot to get into. There's a lot to talk about. And we're going to unpack it all. You know, given these opportunities to talk to Mr. Vega about his life, what he's going through, what he's experienced. I'm giving you a breakdown and a synopsis of what we've talked about already, but we're bringing him in today to continue the conversation, to carry the conversation, and shine a brighter light and expose everything that this man is going through. In the meantime, in between time, welcome everyone that has joined the live. I appreciate you all for participating, coming out to have some fun with me and enjoying the conversation, enjoying the guest. I love it when you guys are actively participating with me on this thing. It makes it move. It makes it fun. The engagement. I don't know why I look like I'm a little furry. I got to work on these cameras. Brand Songs, Terry Allred. Welcome to the live. I'm just going through all of the technical specs. Show, Tapasoa, what's going on, cuz? West Coast in the building. Jonathan Shaw, what's going on, my brother? Dallas, Texas in the building. Yes, indeed. Let's see. We're going to have a great conversation today. Paul Whitehouse in the building. And I'm expecting Jarrell Braswell to join us here in just a little bit. Thank all of you for taking the time to have some fun with us. And if you have not subscribed to Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime, look here. I need you to do so. This link is for you, ladies and gentlemen. Stop what you're doing right now and go subscribe to Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime on YouTube, all social media platforms. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to make sure you tap in. Right now, over 72,000 subscribers and well over 11 million views and watch time hours. So make sure that you continue to support, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep tapping in with us because we're going to keep on bringing you this hot content every day and in every way. It's your main man, Big G. And make sure, like I said, stop what you're doing right now and tap in. Like, share, subscribe. Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment. Look here. If you are in the Arlington area, and surrounding areas, pay attention and pay attention closely. First Take, hands-on content creation workshop is going down in that city. April 11th, 2026. It jumps off at 12. The reason why I'm talking about this is because our good man, Jonathan Shaw, is on the panel. He's a guest speaker. It's taking place from 12 to 1:30, somewhere about there. follow Jonathan Shaw on Facebook. Follow the link. First Take, hands-on content creation workshop, and lock in if you are interested in joining the workshop and the activities. It's something you don't want to miss. If you're in the Arlington area, April 11th. Lock in with me, man. It's going to be a great conversation, and you guys are going to have a lot of fun. Some gems, some ways to go about doing it. It gives you the breakdown on everything that they're going to be talking about. So make sure you tap in with Jonathan Shaw. First Take, hands-on content creation workshop. Get your tickets, man. Get your tickets. Hey, do what you got to do to make it happen. Go learn something. Add to your tool belt. Let me just say that. And that's one way that you can do that. Add to your tool belt. So without any further ado, and I'm trying to give my cameras an opportunity to adjust. Hit this button over here. Try to get these things adjusted. It's got to be my latency, because I'm looking real blurry. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. But we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it straight. Without further ado, and me running my mouth, talking a whole bunch of jibber jabber, I'm gonna bring our good man Damon Vega into the studio. Mr. Vega.
How you doing?
Man, I'm doing wonderful, man. It's good to see you again, brother. How things going?
Hey, everything's going pretty good, man. Just taking one day at a time as usual. Staying focused on God, man.
Amen to that. Amen to that. It's good to see you, man. I'm glad we're getting the opportunity to get back in contact with you, to follow up on our past conversation. Because I don't even want to call it an interview. I just want to call it conversation, because that's what it is.
Yeah, we'll call it a conversation.
Yeah, good conversation. But at the same time, within this conversation, we're trying to get to, and not trying, I don't even like to use that word. We're going to get to resolution, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what we're working towards. We're putting the building block and the pieces together to have something resolved. And what we're talking about in this particular case is getting exoneration, getting restitution, getting your name cleared for something that you say that you've been falsely accused of, first-degree murder.
Truly.
Of Miss Lundy.
Yes.
So let's talk about it, man. And you know, we've gone over what happened in the last interview. So now, as we're talking today, and I want people to get to know who you are. Do you have a problem with me, you know, getting a little personal with you?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. So 27 years incarcerated. How does it, okay, and regardless of what you've gone through in your past, right? Through breaking and entering, and, you know, doing a little time here and there, you know, no long stints of prison time. But how do you process it, and how did you process it when you were charged and indicted and found guilty of first-degree murder, and then going through that process of, you know, going to prison, going to the penitentiary, and knowing that you're going to be here for the rest of your life? How did that all process? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we know you got out in 27 years, but knowing that, man, I'm about to spend the rest of my life in prison.
It's really hard to fathom, man. I was like just numb to the whole situation, not believing what had just transpired in that courtroom. it was just a total circus. People were disgusted. Right before they had found me guilty, right before the jury had went into deliberation, Judge James C. Davis, he told the jurors that he had a prior judicial commitment, and the jury went in deliberation that Monday. But being the Labor Day weekend, he told the jury that he wanted to try to win this case over because of prior judicial engagements. And he wants this trial to be over before the week's out. And once the jury went in deliberation on the last day, my last day of my trial went 18 and a half hours. 18 and a half hours, man. Not the regular 8 to 5. At 5 o'clock, he told the jury to go back in there and deliberate. Then he called them back out like 10:05 that night. Court is actually still going on. The judge is mad. He said, like I've informed you on Monday morning and the time element, you all are taking absolutely longer than what is required. Y'all need to go back in there and make a decision. They go back in there and take me back into the bullpen, come back an hour later and find me guilty. All because of his prior judicial commitments that following Monday for the Labor Day weekend. It was just a circus, man. Couldn't nobody believe what actually went on. They said marathon court session finally ends, and so do jurors. The jurors was even up there nodding when they were on the stand. Mine was the first time in North Carolina history that went 18 and a half hours the last day. It was a big write-up in the newspaper, and everybody was furious about what was going on in that courtroom. And that district attorney, Gary Goodman, he was the prosecutor in my trial. They barred him for holding evidence in murder trials. He couldn't even do a murder trial no more. They barred him, but he still was able to be an attorney. But this was the man that back in 1985 that prosecuted me for breaking and entering. And he was the prosecutor in this murder trial. He hid all that evidence. He did everything he could to get me convicted. But my trial was nothing but a circus. It was nothing but a circus. And when I got found guilty and I was back there in the bullpen, my attorney, David Dansby and Ramalis Murphy, they wouldn't even let both of them represent me at the same time in the courtroom. When you're facing murder, the charges that I had, you're required to have 2 attorneys represent you, but they only let one attorney represent me, and the other one had to sit there and be quiet. But he was only able to do the arguments at the end. But when I was back there in that bullpen, both of them came back there and they was like, man, we cannot believe this. They did not have nothing on you. And we're going to do everything we can to try to fight on your appeal. When you come up for appeal, we're going to try to get your appeal and do this. But that was the only hope that I had at that time, saying, well, maybe that the North Carolina Appeals Court, they'll see the injustice that was done to me in that courtroom. And that was my only hope until I got denied.
Okay. Hold on a second. Vega, I'm hearing comedian Jarrell Braswell is joining us. So let me bring our good man, comedian Jarrell Braswell, onto the stage, and we're gonna continue this conversation because I have a couple of questions I need to follow up with.
Yes,
you on.
sir.
Okay. Braswell.
What it do?
Jarrell Braswell, I'd like you to meet Mr. Damon Vega. Damon Vega.
How you doing? How you doing,
man?
I can't complain, man. You too, likewise.
Okay, thank you, man.
Okay, so let's get on into it. Well, first off, Jarrell, how things going, brother?
Oh man, I can't complain, man. Shit, not if I wanted to, I couldn't complain, man. Another day above ground. Do what I gotta do. And shit, I did a lot of Hoochie Man skits today. for the masters and shit. I gotta go do my part tomorrow, but I can put them out. Some of them out because that's how they meant to be. But just been working in the lab, getting everything going, man. Just getting everything together.
Okay. Well, we're gonna continue this conversation with Mr. Vega.
Yes, sir.
Falsely accused and indicted and convicted of first-degree murder and arson.
Damn it, boy.
Served 27 years.
Damn.
Until Duke University and the Innocence Project worked on his behalf to prove his innocence. They proved his innocence.
Man, goddamn motherfuckers that been smoke crack, been done powder, and been done all type of other bullshit to blame it on. Man, I went to prison. I ain't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I salute you, man. Goddamn, 27 years. That's a long damn time, man.
Nothing but the grace of God brought me through that.
I know that's right, shit. I'm a living testimony of the same thing, falsely accused and come out unscathed and all that shit. So I feel your pain, man. Especially you did shit a motherfucking lie, and then you still standing, man, to be a walking testimony that people don't believe God is real, man. What I was facing, man, a person, if you was betting on it the day you heard it, you bet that I was doomed and I was cooked, but God had the final say. And shit,
that's right. He had the final say.
Yeah.
He'll let you know he's real.
Oh, he gonna do that every time.
That's right. Amen.
Now it's time to test your faith. Now it's time to test that faith then. For real.
That's right. So Brother Vega, you know, you saying that you in the court, it was a mockery. They tried to rush through everything. 18 hours standing. In terms of
last day. 4 days.
Liberation.
4 days, and on the last one, 18 and a half hours.
Okay.
With them kind of charges, man, those trials last 2-3 weeks.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But they rushed everything through because of court procedure or whatever. The judge said he had other shit to do, basically.
Yeah.
And of course your attorney's coming back and attesting that, hey man, they don't have anything on you.
Yeah. Facts.
So this is my question. And this is my question. At that moment, you know what I'm saying? You know, as an attorney, you're telling me, you're coming to me and you're saying they don't have anything on you. There's nothing that would stick you to this crime that can locate you. There's no DNA. There's nothing that has you involved with this particular crime. Attorneys are telling you that. The jurors are coming back without a verdict because they're up in the air about it. You know,
yes,
but the
sir.
judge pushing the fact. But the judge is pushing the fact that, hey man, we need this shit over with. You know, now the judge not pushing the fact whether it's guilty or innocent. He just wants to get the shit over.
Get the shit out of the way.
Yeah, just because of the time element that I've informed you of Monday morning, you all are taking absolutely longer than what is required. They go back in 1 hour and come back and find me guilty on all 3 counts. And it was jurors up there with tears in their eyes and everything. I was shocked, man. I couldn't believe it, man. Yeah, I never known a court.
So was the jury, do you believe the jury was
it was over 3:15. It was over 3:15 in the morning. Saturday morning, that trial was over with. It went 18 and a half hours, and they found me guilty on a Saturday morning. They didn't want to wait the next week.
So what I'm saying is do you believe that there was a push for you to be found guilty?
Know what it sounds like their mouths already made up. Like, damn, I don't know. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It takes long when they do play damn Pee Wee game.
Yeah. All right. So with the Duke University Innocence Project found, what they began to, when they started peeling back layers of the onion, what express to me what it is that they started to unravel and find discrepancies and things that just weren't adding up, and started, you know, in how they began asking the question. And now all of a sudden you're about to blow the lid off of this thing. Let's get into that.
Hey, they went in the law books, man, and they hit with sleep deprivation on jurors. How that in no way whatsoever that they could have been alert doing all them times on that last day. I mean, they hit them hard with that sleep deprivation, but every time they would send something to the courts, come back denied, and it was no way,
sleep
man.
deprivation leaving took a Hershey.
Yeah, it just pushed them to rush, man. They was ready to go. They was ready to go. They was ready to get up out of there, man. They thought that they were coming back, but he was like, no, we're gonna stay here until we get us a verdict. But that's the honest truth. And all this is in newspapers, all this is fact, all this is in my appeals. Everything that I'm telling you, this really, really happened. It was nothing but a joke, man.
With Tyler Perry, when you need him, man, that's the movies that should be making about instead of bashing black men, trying to tell stories about what black men really be going through. Nothing against Tyler Perry, but it's like,
hey, what's crazy is I wrote him. I told him about my case. I ain't never get a response, but I wrote all kind of people. I wrote Geraldo Rivera. I wrote all kind of people begging them to listen to my story, man. I never got response. It was always where Geraldo, your story is very compelling, but we will not be able to use it for 1 hour segments. I mean, I still had the letters, man. And I was trying to get help.
Still another segment you can use, motherfucker. Now that I'm out and free, you can sure enough use it to show that the shit is flawed and the justice system is corrupt. Well, I ain't gonna say corrupt. It's not used the correct way, and the people fighting or people opposing or going against the legal or criminal justice system don't get they just due. Like a Ponzi scheme, man. Motherfuckers keep motherfuckers in there to feed and fund these private institutions.
Yeah, I was in a private institution doing
there you have it then. So people got obligations to fill. They don't give a damn if you did it or not. We want this motherfucker. He a number now. He got to fulfill his obligation that you said that you gonna have a body in here. It's sad, man. I tell people all the time. People want to be rappers. Motherfuckers want to be this and want to be that. We need more lawyers and politicians of our skin color and hue in here that come from where we come from to keep young men and women out of the damn system, man, before they get in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother conversation for another conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get a nonprofit, man, to where I can help them guys that's innocent inside this prison, man, and try to. I think that the resources that I have and the people that I know, that I can be able to get them to look into their cases. But this
you might need to give my partner Brewster. He went to prison for the same thing, murder. He on the whole diesel truck fleet line now, man, out there doing this thing, big reform out there, man.
Yeah.
He was in prison too, so y'all might need to link up, man, and share your stories, man. And he already going in the penal systems in these institutions and these places, talking to people. You could be a great addition to that.
I think he made it possible for these guys that's in these private enterprises to be able to practice for their CDLs now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, most definitely. That's what they're doing, big reform. Yep. So
yeah, you got a lot of people that's doing it now.
He made it happen, so I don't see why you can't go in there and do the same thing and make something happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a will, there's a way. You know what I'm saying? Where you couldn't find a way or you couldn't see there seemed to be a way. God showed you a way. You just had to go on those steps he needed you to go while you was in the place he had you in. You know what I'm saying? They can take you away from the public, but they can't take your mind away from it. I tell people all the time. So yeah, man. Big G got off here. They back.
No, I'm back.
Okay, back.
Yeah, man. So let's keep on getting into it, Vega, because like I say, I want to know, when you walk through that cell, because I want to know the mindset, because we talked about some of the process. We talked about the courts, how it was a mockery, and how you ended up in the position. It shouldn't be.
Yeah,
we understand that. But let's get into a man's mental, walking through that processing, walking through, getting what they're gonna give you, and then walking you to your cell inevitably. What is that like mentally, knowing that, man, I'm never getting out this motherfucker? Initially.
That's
Can you take me to that day?
It's a nightmare because when I got off the bus, I had to go to a place called Central Prison. And you know, back then, like I said, I used to I used to model hair. When I walked inside that prison, man, automatically it was like renegade school for me. I had to fight to protect me, to protect myself from the advances. And I got in like several fights, and it was pretty bad because during that time, man, I was going through an appeal process, and I had this person one time broke me, and automatically I was supposed to just jump on this dude and beat him up. But the whole time I'm thinking about my appeal, man, I need to have a good record. I can't mess up. And a couple of my homeboys had saw what happened, and they was like, look, man, you're gonna have to straighten that. I'm like, man, I'm on an appeal, man. They was like, well, what's gonna be, Vega? It's gonna be appeal or a pump. I was like, I was making up all kind of excuses. I was like, well, man, I ain't got no tennis shoes, man. They was like, well, you can wear my tennis shoes, but you're gonna have to straighten that. If not, man, you're gonna mess around and be a punk. And I put the dude tennis shoes on and caught the dude in the kitchen and swung until they stopped, and when they took me to the hole, I remember them telling that guy, name was Sandman. I never forget it. They was like, look, Sandman, we know what you did. I didn't say nothing. But because one of the dudes yelled out in the kitchen when they broke it up, look, man, I bet you won't broke nobody else. So they bring him out and bring me out in the conference room, and they said, look, Vega, we're gonna let you out. What you want us to do with him? I said, well, look, man, if you're gonna let him out, let me out, then you got to let him out, because I'm not going back out there on the yard. And had these people thinking I done snitched on this dude. And they was like, look, if you didn't stop fighting when we was in that kitchen, we were gonna get you for inciting a riot. You picked the wrong place to try to fight somebody.
Yep.
And I'm like, thank God this is over. But still, man, getting stalked, people looking at you sexually. Then I went to the farm, and this place was built in 1890. When we got off the bus, the superintendent, he said, best thing for y'all to do is get you a knife, and don't be jumping no brooms at this prison, but get you a knife. I said, man, I'm in some trouble here. What in the hell I'm gonna do? And like the two white boys and a Mexican, they went to protective custody. I went on the population, and it was a hell of a thing mentally, man. It was a hell of a thing mentally, man. But I had to fight and had to stand up for myself, man. And eventually things leveled out. People said they seemed like he wasn't gonna take no mess. But my main thing was, man, I got to get out of here, man. I got to figure out some way. I got 50 years, I got 40 years. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And that was my mindset when I first was incarcerated in 1990.
Okay, we have a question that has come in from Mr. Jonathan Shaw to Mr. Vega. The question is, what is it like to have in the battle for your life and still staying focused on doing the right thing? You battling for your life.
It's crazy, man, but it's not a day that I ever did time where I didn't have two knives on me. Everybody seemed like they had one, but if anybody ever came at me, I had to have two. But that's just the way it was back in 1990. It was either, I'm gonna say it like this, fuck, fight, or hit the fence. That was the three main things I'm just telling you the truth, man. And at that time I wasn't legally as far as knowing the law, and I was reaching out to people that could try to help me, and they weren't doing nothing but using me, taking my money, just having me going through the little protocols. Well, we got to get it to the appeals court. Oh, you're gonna get denied. Now it's gonna go to the North Carolina Court of Appeals. Oh no, well, here's $50 more, man. Well, we just need to get you to the Supreme Court. And now, I kept doing that, and I said, well, shoot, they did away with the law library because it was a dude that was getting people out that had been done unjust. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, we couldn't even practice law, the dudes, they couldn't help people out anymore. So I got that Georgetown law book and I started studying my own stuff, and I started finding out all these discrepancies in my case. Let me tell you this. I found out on the indictments, it said burn the unoccupied house and rob of Carolyn Sue Lundy. Well, if this house is unoccupied, then how could I have murdered? How could I have robbed?
Nobody know.
So I mean, it had to be a true bill. So I'm like, man, I got him. So I shoot it back in the courts. They talking about it wasn't nothing but a typographical error. I'm serious, man. I have those indictments today, and everything has to be on point. I was finding all these errors in my trial. Oh, you exhausted your remedies. We can't help you anymore.
That ain't right.
Yeah, but I stayed focused by writing songs. I played the piano, saxophone, and clarinet, and I used to go up to the chapel so I could play the piano. And I always wrote songs, man. Every situation.
Hold up, Vegas. Back up. You say you play what again?
Piano, clarinet, saxophone, and the clarinet.
Nigga, bad motherfucker. Kenny G, Babyface.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. I mean, he ain't got. You know me, man. I'm from Missouri, goddamn. You got to show me.
You gotta show that nigga there. You gotta show him.
I know you don't got no keyboard around you. You ain't got no saxophone or no damn clarinet. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, anybody can say anything. You know what I'm saying? But you say you a singer too now, right?
No, shit. He can't go in prison bullshit until he can play any of that shit. He can't play. They're gonna choke his ass up or cut him up. You say you can play, motherfucker?
No, shit, he can play. He had 2 of them on about all times, goddamn.
Shit, I heard it.
Yeah. Anytime you want to hear a song, man, I'll let you hear it, man. I wrote one the day that they released me, man. I was able to sing it to my mom, and it's called "He Will Set You Free." It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay, so what we waiting for?
Yeah.
All right.
I can feel that motherfucker.
When I make it to heaven, you know that I really tried. Done so many wrongs in my life. Now I'm doing right. Mama always said, Damon, you gotta believe. And if you don't understand his words, pray. He will let you see. He'll set you free. Make you feel brand new. He'll give you peace. His spirit will guide you.
Stop. David.
Ain't no doubt about it. He will set you free.
You
got to hear what?
They got to pay for that.
No, can you please let him hear the second verse, please?
Oh,
27,
man,
please.
Galen,
Guess what? Go ahead, Galen, please. You got to hear it.
Give it to him, baby. Give it to him. Let him go. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah, let him run it, man.
27 years in prison. I know your prayers kept me safe. Every time you wrote me a letter, you said there'll be brighter days. And you said, just pray, have faith. Son, he's gonna bring you home. He will set you free. Ain't no doubt about it. He will set you free. Thank you, man.
Okay. All right. Hold on a second, man. I got something over here for that. In the building. What's the name of the song, Damon?
He will set you free.
He will set you free.
That's all right, man.
On all streaming platforms, Damon Vega in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed, brother. Man. Hey, man. He shut me up.
Yeah, he did.
You know me. Hey, you gotta prove it to me. You gotta show me.
You gotta eat crow now, nigga.
Yeah, my mama,
as long as I got a honey bun to put on top, I'm cool with it.
And as long as you got a honey bun to goddamn chase it with you, I ain't goddamn. They got, hey, Big Mo, hey, First Lady can't make a honey bun cake. They got no honey bun cake, man.
I know about them honey bun cake.
You know what I'm talking about? You got the honey bun cake, man.
Yeah, and them swolls.
The swole, yeah, them doo-wop.
I know about them swolls.
That's a beautiful song, Damon. That's a beautiful song.
Thank you, man. Yeah, my mama used to tell me, Read your Bible, Damon, every day. And if you don't understand it, just pray and he'll show it to you. He'll reveal it to you. Anything that you don't understand, he'll reveal it to you. And that's what I've been doing.
Okay. Well, now we know that Mr. Vega has a hidden talent. Okay, he got me on the singing, but I still ain't seen him play the clarinet, the flugelhorn, the trumpet, the saxophone, and the piano, and the oboe. I still want to see that though.
Tube and the banjo.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. Me playing the piano.
Good stuff, man.
Well, what's no AI? I won't know AI now.
And what we'll do is if you send it like a link from YouTube, if you have something like that, whatever the video content is, the next time we come on, I'll make sure I have it and I could sit there and we could utilize that content and play it through the segment so that you can show the world. But the world don't need to know. I just want to know. You know what I mean? Because that's another one of the hidden talents that Mr. Vega possesses. And whether you guys realize it or not, I have a lot of friends that have been institutionalized. Some still sitting behind bars, just like Brother Shaw says. His brother still has 8 years on a sentence. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. I don't want to say it incorrectly. His little brother still has 8 years to go. Prayers go out to all of our brothers and sisters that are currently incarcerated and fighting the good fight. Especially those who are fighting the fight of innocence. Now, I will say this. I do know a lot of con artists. Okay? Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend. So some folks do work the con. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But you do have a percentage of individuals that really are innocent of the crimes that they've been convicted of. I believe Mr. Vega, in talking with him, seeing his compassion, seeing his heart, listening to his story, the pain of how he delivers it. No one should have to go through this. No one. JB, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I already know, bro.
And you've experienced it as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that shit. So I
you see, so
yeah.
Okay, so from your standpoint of it, so you guys have not a similar story, but a like story in terms of being convicted of something that you did not do.
Yeah, I didn't get other shit. They put me in jail for. They hit me with bullshit that was under the NJP could took a strike for. They court-martialed my ass in conjunction with the shit that they tried to get me for. I mean, like I said, man, I was on CNN and all type of shit, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the expense of being expendable. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole other story for another story, too. But at the end of the day, man, 25 years old, man, you know, only thing I know, sports, football, and killing. And shit, man, I'm out here sliding and riding for you, and then got them a motherfucking lie. You ain't investigating this shit thoroughly, just going off a word because it's political. Shit, that shit changed my whole mindset then, you know. 25, I don't know where the fuck to go, don't know what to do. I'm like, shit, man, just thinking about that shit. That shit goddamn had me fucked up. And for a long time, and it took me a lot to get right with a lot of things in life after I beat that situation and goddamn the smoke cleared with it, bro. I had to really recalibrate and really think about a lot of things, man. How shit really is ain't no goddamn. This shit ain't no fairy tale. This shit ain't no goddamn peaches and cream. This shit is really real. So once that shit set in, man, it made you a whole different beast. It's like getting stabbed, man. If you ever got poked in jail or ever got, you know what I'm saying, nudged in jail, man. Once your ass gets stabbed in that motherfucker, you ain't gonna never be the same. You gonna always be on edge. You know what I'm saying? You gonna always be goddamn ready to stick somebody because you didn't already got stuck, man. I ain't never had to go through that shit, but I done seen motherfuckers get poked in that motherfucker. That's why I tell people military jail and regular jail different. Everybody killing military prison. That's what you trained to do. I'm a killer, nigga. Everybody ain't a killer. Fuck you talking about? So
it is.
Yeah, man, being false accused, convicted, all that shit in charge, man. That shit don't sit right with me. That was one reason why I went to school and took up criminal justice. You know what I'm saying?
And you took it up too?
Yeah, I got my associate's degree. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
I got that. You know what I'm saying? I'm 18 away from a bachelor's, but I'm not gonna go back to school because I gotta be a police 2 years on the street to be what I want to be, which is a criminal justice. detective. So
yeah, I had to get
I
mine.
know I
I
ain't
had to
gonna
get mine from
do right, man. I know too many, like you said, I know too many con artists working the con, and I know me. They don't pay me a motherfucker enough to go put my life online for y'all fucking face motherfuckers. So I'm gonna get
Not
in
the
where I
funky
fit in.
face. Come on, JB. Don't do it to him like that,
And did
JB.
it to him just
Let
like
him
that.
make it today,
I
JB.
did let him make it. That's a nice. I ain't call them stinking skin shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. You know, and I tell people all the time, man, I say instead of being a problem, you got to be a solution to the problem. So I say, man, if I go ahead and make a difference, man, and keep my young brothers and sisters, no matter race, color, or creed, because I'm gonna believe in being a true humanitarian. We all humans at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? People go through a lot of shit, not just black people, white people, whatever type of people go through the same thing that we go through. It just be in different situations and circumstances sometimes. And I'm like, if I can keep you from going into the system, man, and you seeing the reality of the shit that you was facing, bro, that shit'll turn motherfuckers around sometime.
Yeah.
Here's one thing that I wanted to correct. You know, when you asked me, Galen, about how was Greensboro, and I was saying it was a good city. As far as me being in my neighborhood, as far as me living in a community, I was always in good communities. But Greensboro is basically all for the white people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of racism in Greensboro. I've experienced it when I moved over on the east side. I was a part of 1979 when the Klan came to Greensboro on Everett Street. I stayed 2 blocks from there and killed 5 black people and 2 white that were Communist Worker Party members. And I marched with them as a teenager. Matter of fact, they're buried just 2 blocks from where I live. And one guy, Kwame Cannon, they gave him a life sentence for burglary. But the 3 white boys that was burglarized in that same neighborhood one got 15, one got 8, and one got 5. And his mother, that was part of that the Communist Worker Party, and Nelson Johnson, who marched downtown Greensboro, she just passed away, and Nelson passed away a while back. But they've been fighting for us to have civil rights in Greensboro for years.
Yeah,
and
J. Cole was talking about that.
They marched in Raleigh to get her son freed, and she got her son out of that prison, and he's doing very well today. But I didn't experience that racism until I got to about 12 years old, because when I was in elementary school, I went to black, white, little Chinese people. I never experienced it and was taught to always treat people the way I want to be treated. But I didn't start seeing how really bad things were until I got a little older.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we still in processing, right? We still working our way through, because like I said, you've gone through the county systems. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking about a penitentiary, basically. You're gonna be locked down for a minute. What was your routine? What was your day to day? What outside of what kept you going mentally? What did you have to do to keep yourself in check, knowing that, okay, you working your appeals, you already stated, hey man, I'm not trying to get myself in any kind of scuffles or any kind of trouble, but at the same time, what was your regimen, and how did you sit there and implement that to sit there and get yourself to the position where you are today, out of prison, but still sending out enough information to the right people, and it got into the right hands so that, you know, somebody could pick up, you know, your project like the Innocence Project did. So talk to me about that a little bit.
A guy came to me that had like 3-4 life sentences named Walter Stroud. He was from Greensboro, North Carolina. He was like one of Greensboro's first serial killers. And I used to sleep over top of him. And all I used to do, his bunk was on the bottom, mine was on the top. And he found out who I was, and he knew some of my uncles that was in the military back in the day. But he told me, man, if you keep laying in that bed, you know, you ain't gonna never get nothing accomplished. You're gonna mess around and you're gonna have a rude awakening. And keep yourself busy, keep your mind occupied, get yourself up, go to that laundry, to that cannery, work, study your case. And that's how things started for me. And I took his advice, and I always made sure that I always had something to do, but I always told myself I'm only gonna do 5 at a time. When I get to 5 years, then I'm gonna start on the next 5. I'm gonna start on the next 5. But I ended up doing what he told me. I ended up getting a small engine repair diploma. Then I got transferred, and then next thing you know, the prisons got so overcrowded, they shipped me to Mason, Tennessee, to a private prison, and I had to go up there and do some time too, because the prisons was overcrowded. They say the recidivism rate was so high in North Carolina that they adopted the 85% law, and they moved all of us 1/8 laws to Oklahoma, Texas, and Rhode Island, and Mason, Tennessee. So once I got to Mason, Tennessee, they had a law library, because they done away with the law library in North Carolina, but the other states still had it. And when Mayor Berry got kicked out of office in Washington, D.C., they were sending Lorton Prison down there to Mason, Tennessee too. And they were using the library, and I was able to use the library, and I was able to still study my case.
Okay. Well, what was the transition? Okay, so now you're in a private prison. You have access. Now what begins to work in your mind in terms of the next steps? You know, what do you have to do next and get yourself prepared? You're reading the books, you're looking at how to write the writs or formulate the documents needed to submit. So what's the next steps that you're taking?
Well, first one I filed was a motion for appropriate relief, and I argued all the things that I felt that my appellate attorney didn't argue. And when I sent the appropriate relief in, it got denied. And I sent it to the next stage, to the North Carolina Court of Appeals. Then I did a writ of certiorari with newly discovered evidence. Just kept getting denied. And all the stuff that I was arguing was basically, it was true facts of what was going on, but I could never get anyone to hear my case. So I was writing people at the North Carolina Civil Liberties Union, and they ended up referring me to the Duke University law that was in Durham, North Carolina. And like I told you before, they seen the similarities in Lamont Armstrong's case, because he had written them also, and they seen everything was so much alike. That's how they took my case.
Okay.
But they told me that they said that they couldn't have done a motion for appropriate relief. They said that the motion for appropriate relief that I had written up was awesome.
Right. And with Duke University Innocence Project, they examine each case that these young law students are going to jump off into, right?
Yes. Yes. And they will not take your case unless they're 100% believe they have 100% belief in your innocence.
Right. That you're innocent. Correct. So that in itself is an exoneration of, you know what I'm saying, based on them getting you out, based on them helping and doing what they had to do on their side to assist in your release. That's one form of it, right? Because like you said, it's not like it was just a technicality. It was a lot of things that got mixed up in your case that warranted your release, your immediate release, based on the parole board's decision. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So now we're dealing with the fact that either the state, the governor, whomever, some law body, some entity is stating that they're not going to proclaim your true innocence or exonerate you with the convicted felon that still hangs over your head, because of what though? Make me understand that part of it. And not to mention, they release you into the streets after 27 years with no compensation, no restitution, no, an apology is one thing, maybe not, but you're back off into the streets after 27 years. That's a lot of time being behind bars and then trying to get back into the running mill and working day order of being free. So talk to me about that. How do you deal with that mentally? I mean, we're dealing with a little bit of time now, but still, the post.
I smile at you when I talk to you, but man, I'm in pain, man. I'm in pain. It's not a day that goes by that I don't think about it. I think back when and they have that 3-panel judge to this day. I don't understand why they didn't take me in front of that 3-panel judge and present my case to them, because all it would have took was for 2 of them to believe in me, to where I could have probably got exonerated. That was a new thing that they had came out with back in, I think, 19 I think it was 2009 or 2010. They could have presented that in front of a 3-panel judge, and it would have been a possibility I could have got exonerated that way. But I never went in front of them. But to sit here and I try to process the whole thing, it just don't seem like anything's ever going to get done about it.
Okay, so let's make this just blatantly clear to our audience, to our listening guests, friends, family. Thank you all for everyone who's joining and everyone who will tune into this broadcast at a later date. Miss Lundy, and I mean, we just rehashed it, but Miss Lundy was brutally strangled and murdered in her home. Home set ablaze to cover the crime. And Damon Vega ended up taking a ride for something that he did not do. Yes. 27 years sitting down in prison. 27 years sitting down in prison. Duke University steps up to the plate with the Innocence Project. These young men and women fought for your case and proved. Dr. Newman? Is it Dr. Newman?
Professor, yes.
Professor Newman, one of the lead individuals that participated. I'm just mentioning that because these are namesakes. These are people that participated in getting Damon Vega released. And we're talking about it. This is our second interview. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, Damon is definitely open to take those. But we're going to continue our talk, Damon, because like I say, man, people have to understand that, okay, innocent or not, once you behind them bars, all that shit out the window. True or false?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Even when I was eligible.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even when I was eligible to come up for honor grade, that's going to a minimum security, I kept getting denied. No matter what I would say, professing my innocence, I got denied every time. Even when they would tell me to work out a case plan that could probably try to help me get this education, heating and air, small engines, automotive repair, all kind of stuff, thinking for a change, anger management, Napoleon Hill, all this stuff I was taking. And it just kept getting denied and denied and denied. And I went so many years being infraction free, hadn't had a write-up, no infractions. Every time I go in front of the board, oh, you conning your way out the system. It ain't no way in the world that you can sit here and say that you ain't done nothing and you just been good old boy for 10, 15 years and ain't had not one write-up. You need to get some write-ups on your jacket. First thing I did is I went and popped somebody in the mouth and caught an assault charge, sent me all the way back to close custody for 5 years, and got a misuse of medication, a fighting charge, ended up having 9 write-ups. And then when I go in front of a board one time, they say, oh, we see that you was troubled when you came into the prison system, but we see this span right here where you just, haven't done anything, and we really take this into consideration now. But they wanted to say, well, this man got these charges on him. He's a killer. He was violent. And then all of a sudden, these programs helped him change, and we might look at him now. And that was really told to me. You conning your way out the system because you ain't had no write-up in 10, 15 years.
Yeah. So how did okay, I get it. I understand that whole process. And you engaged, you sat there and you participated, but did it work?
At the end, when Duke Law went to the parole board, they said, oh, wow, he had only been 9 write-ups out of 27 years. We know people got 115. Obviously, with these letter of recommendations that these lawyers and these preachers and the family members and friends have written, everything seems to go in his favor right now. But that was crazy that I actually had to get in trouble and act like I was troubled, and then went on a chill out span and started realizing things just to be able to try to get looked at, just to try to hopeful that I would be able to get honor grade or parole. But that was the number one thing that helped me, was those infractions, me not getting them in a certain span. But when I didn't have any, it was holding me back.
So you could sit there and try to live an honorable and noble life and showcase the fact that, hey, man, I'm innocent. I didn't do this. I'm staying out the way. Even in prison, I'm out the way. They're not. Are they saying that you're just trying to game the system, just trying to stay out the way? They want you to. They encourage you to get in trouble. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's how they look at it. They look at anybody that go in there. They don't believe a person can go in prison and do good and not get in no trouble. And they call them model inmates. And the system don't look at it the same way. They look at it as you're nothing but a con man. You're conning your way out the system. That's what you're trying to do, and we don't like it. This is true fact, man.
I get it, but here's the follow-up. What's the point in reform? What I thought that's what it's about: reformation, going in, and hopefully we can put you into this institution if in fact you're guilty of a crime, and rehabilitate or put you in some type of a program to get you adjusted to be able to go out into society and live a fruitful life. Why would they want some kind of injunction to take place to show?
It's a joke.
That it's definitely a joke. That's crazy.
All of it's a joke, because every program that I ever attended, like small engines, they only do that to get that funding. They put them people in there to get that funding. They'll let you cheat out them books, everything. They not teaching. It's just all about money. You have to teach yourself. I had to teach myself in everything, with the heating and air, the small engines, the automotive repair. I had to do all that because that's just to make them look good, like they're really trying, like we in there getting rehabilitated. Rehabilitation comes within yourself. It comes within you. No matter what you do, you have to sit back and say, man, I'm through with this. When I get out of here, it's over. Because the stuff that they're trying to provide in there is just a front, so they can keep getting that funding every year.
Okay, and that's a problem within the penal system. So let's talk about this a little bit, because now my mindset in terms of what you're dealing with, compounded on top of the fact that you're innocent. You've been found to be so, and you brought up one thing: the money, the dollar amount that the prison systems are bringing in. I'm not talking about their pockets. I'm talking about your co-defendant's pocket, or the individual who got released under the same types of charges. Right.
It wasn't my co-defendant.
Okay, well, who was this individual? Was it
You talking
Lamont?
about Lamont Armstrong? Yeah,
Lamont
Lamont was
Armstrong.
on a step. Yeah, Lamont was on a separate case, but the similarities was the same, and the murders happened only half a mile from each other. But
Okay.
our cases were so much alike that the Innocent Project decided to take both of our cases, and they was able to gain his freedom, and he ended up with $6.5 million from his exoneration. But
That's what we're talking about.
when they started looking into my case and wanted to see if those fingerprints that were left on the glass in Miss Lundy's house matched to Chris Kavanagh's, all of a sudden my evidence disappeared, and they wasn't able to get that evidence so they could prove my innocence. But like I was telling you before, them state lab reports had proved that I wasn't even in that residence.
Right.
Fingerprints, palm prints, hair, blood, saliva, nothing ever matched to me.
Right. But there again, we understand all of that. I'm talking about $6.5 million that Lamont received. And you're in a situation 27 years behind bars, proven to be innocent, not fully exonerated. And now you're dealing with trying to gain that exoneration so that you can be compensated for the time that you spent behind bars. That's I mean, I get it takes money, it takes time, it takes letters being written, it takes a whole movement and individuals getting involved to make something like that happen. I understand that. But when you have overwhelming evidence that proves that you did not commit the crime, something has to be done, Vega.
It has to be done. It needs to be done. Like I said, they let me out on parole. They gave me 5 years parole. And the Innocent Project said we can only continue to fight for your freedom while you're still in the judicial system. But once December 18th, 2020 get here, we can't fight for you no more. We got to get that DNA evidence to get you exonerated. Like I said, I went to David Pishow, one of the top attorneys in Winston-Salem. I'm very aware of your case. I was there when you was released. But unless we get that evidence to test them fingerprints, and see if they match to that glass or don't match, and then we'll be able to get you exonerated. But it only has to be through DNA. I said, I don't understand it, Mr. Pishow. The state labs proved that fingerprints, palm prints, none of that matched to me. That's not right. But when 2020 got here, December 18th, I couldn't fight it no more. They did a GoFundMe page when I got out, $3,900. That was it that they gave me. Got to keep my little work release job. But other than that, I didn't have nothing.
So my next question, are you talking with me now, letting the world know that you want to continue to push for your freedom, your true freedom, to be fully exonerated?
Yes. Yeah, I'll take a lie detector test, any kind of thing you want to give me, I'll take it. I want to keep pushing, and I want the people that set me up in that police department. I want the Greensboro Police Department to be held responsible for the corruption that they did in my case, and that district attorney that held that evidence back. I want them to be held accountable for all this, because I'm not the only one that's been done like this. There's been several other people. I'm just a little fraction of this happening to me, but it is several other brothers that's out there that's still in the prison system that need that help. They need somebody that can help them and expose the real truth that has been going on in that Greensboro Police Department. They wrote all those articles about that corruption that was done, but nothing was ever done about it. I was even trying to take a civil suit out to sue them, and they told me that I couldn't do it. I wanted it to go in front of a jury and let them make that decision.
Right. Well, let me say this. Let me just say this. Polygraphs, and no one's asking you to take a polygraph. Let's
I'll
let's
take
just
it.
clarify. Let's just clarify that first. So I'm talking about in terms of what we need to do, or what gears we need to start pushing to work towards your exoneration. But let me clarify something too. Polygraphs, number one, can be swayed.
Yeah.
People that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about.
You
So
can
you
be
can't
used to
necessarily
convict you
depend
too.
on. That's right. You can't necessarily depend on a polygraph or a lie detector test. At the same time, with that being the case, that really isn't admissible in court. It might be suggested for the jury's ears, but it's really not admissible in terms of something that can weigh against you whether you pass or fail a polygraph. I mean, because some people might get over anxious, nervous, heart rate begins to tick, and now the seismograph is off because of the fact that your nervous tendencies are throwing off the meter. So there's a lot of things that come into play when it comes to these
Yeah.
types of things. You know what I'm saying? So
Man, I tried all kind of things to prove my innocence. I even tried to look at other people cases like Jim Baker when he caught that 45 years in prison. He got a time cut down to 8 years because the judge stood up in court and made an open prayer. So they dropped his federal sentence from 45 years to 8 years. Well, in mine, the judge stood up in the courtroom and made everybody do a silent prayer. You can't mix religion with the state. I even shot
right,
that back in court and got that denied too. I tried
yeah,
everything in my power to get myself out of that prison.
right. Well, I mean, you're out of the prison now. That's the blessing. The next part of it is, what are the steps that need to be taken in your mind to fight towards true exoneration and claiming the restitution deserved based on what you've been going through. And not to mention that you've been working on your book. So let's talk about that as well. Let's talk about what we have to look forward to in the release of your memoirs and your time and the things that you discussed in your book.
Yeah, I have it right here. I have it. I have everything right here. But like I said, I had my transcript stolen a while back, and I'm gonna have to do the transcript. But it takes my journey from me first going to jail and the things that I went through while I was incarcerated. It's called Notes from Behind the Wire, and it just hits on all the things that I went through trying to gain my freedom. I was told that I need to add more things that were happening doing my life there, but I think that what I have right now is pretty good. But I know that I can add a little more. But this is just a true story of my life, and every time everything in there wasn't all bad. It was some good times too. But you had to make that happen on your own. You had to put yourself in that mindset to where you had to say, I'm not gonna let this beat me down. I'm gonna have to fight. I'm gonna have to do things and keep a positive mind and do positive things just to make it from one day to the next. Because I never looked forward to the next day. I always concentrated on making it through that one day. But out of
Mm.
each day or each chapter in my book, I've written a song of everything that I went through, whether it was good relationships with my family outside or a girl or my baby's mom. There's a song in every chapter that pinpoint on what I was feeling and what I was going through during that time.
hmm So 27 years, Vega. Um, Notes from behind the wire. That's a lot of
Yes,
notes.
it's a lot of notes. It's a lot of
So
notes.
yes, we're talking about the the good experiences that you may have, in prison, but lo and behold, there are a lot of times that there were some dark days as well. So,
A lot of dark days.
did you jump into those conversations with yourself as you were writing as well, or did you leave that alone because you didn't want to infringe on shit that might have been happening in the prison, or did you really expose, hey man, this is what's happening in this jail, and this is what's happening to me, this is what's happening to my friends or people around me? Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I exposed.
What are you really exposing in the book?
I've exposed the officers that was sexual harassing or getting caught taking advantage of inmates. The fights, the stabbings, the fakeness that you had to pretend to be tough. You couldn't be yourself. You could, or if you tried to be yourself, you was considered soft. You had to put up this certain persona that I'm tough, just to be able to keep people away from your space. When you portray that, then you could make it another day. I put in this book what I did every day to occupy my time. I always made sure that I stayed busy. I worked in the sign plant in the prison for 7 years. When Obama gave that stimulus money out, they redid all the highway signs in North Carolina. I was the guy that did the special projects. Right before I left their employment, they wrote a letter saying Damon Vega was employed by the Enterprise Sign Plant for 6 years from 2007 to 2013. This is a very large plant that produces all the highway signs across the state of North Carolina Department of Transportation. Vega worked in all areas of the plant, but mostly in the metal shearing area. He was the type of employee that was always the unofficial leader of the rest of the workers in his group. Vega was also the one you would go to if you had a special project that needed special attention. When Vega left our employment, we marked his file that will be glad to hire him back. So when I was doing that and being positive and showing these people that I'm smart, that I want to get out of here, they looked at that like, still, this man's trying to con his way out the system, where these people told me, hey man, when you get out, we'll be glad to hire you back. And here I was locked up in this prison. You see what I'm saying? But I always made sure I kept myself busy.
At the same time, Vega, you have to keep in mind. I get everything that you're saying, every program, everything that you do to try to showcase, hey man, I'm reformed, I've changed, I've done XYZ. They're still looking at you, whether you feel it or not, they're still looking at you as a convicted murderer.
Yeah, I'm a murderer, I'm a robber, I'm an arsonist. Right. It's nothing that you can really do. It's like you're saying, like, I'm gonna be there to 2035. That was my max out date. We don't want no problems out of him. He's doing good now. Let him be, because he gonna be an old ass man when he get out of this prison. He'll get a little benefits here and there. We'll bring him a little food from home. He working down here at this sign plant, saving us all these millions of dollars. We'll just give him making $14 a week. We'll give him this and give him that. Just keep him comfortable. He ain't no problem. The less problems we have, the better off we'll be.
Damn, that's a fucked up way to live, Vega.
I ran into Michael Demery. He's one of the guys that killed Michael Jordan's daddy. The other one, I can't remember his name, but I was incarcerated with him at Albemarle Correctional Institute. He slept in another dorm right down from me, and we were real close. They ended up letting him go. They kept the other guy in, but he told me, man, I can accept the fact that I'm in here, how do you do it knowing that you didn't do anything? And I told him, I said, Demery, it's nothing that I can do but just keep praying, man, and hope that something will change that'll get me out of here. You know, I talked to Ray Caruth on the Shanika case. I was talking to one of the other guys that was part of that case, and all they could accept their time because they were guilty. But the hardest thing for that they couldn't understand was like, man, how do you deal with it every day? You know, and I just said, man, all I can do is just, you know, stay in prayer, man, and just take one day at a time and just hope that somebody will see fit to let me come home.
So let me ask you this then. And you're talking about different individuals that you've served with, cellies or just people that you've run across, a child or
yeah, you run across all kind of people in 27 years.
Right. So this is the question. You know, when you explain your situation to other individuals that might be in there for similar cases or whatever crime that they're in there for, and you're pleading your case, I mean, you have to explain the case of what happened to Miss Lundy and why you're in there. They know why you're there. Then you here for murder. So do they really believe you? That's one thing that does another inmate really believe that you are innocent of the crime, or are they just going along with the fact that you say that you're innocent?
They don't believe it.
Okay.
They don't believe it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a guy named Ronald Cotton that was in there, and he ended up being on Larry King Live, and for years, and I was incarcerated with him on the same camp for like 4 or 5 years, and then when they sent us to Mason, Tennessee, he was up there. And I'm gonna be honest with you, and I can understand it now, because when he was telling me that he didn't rape this white woman, the whole time in my mind, I'm saying, man, that dude ain't doing nothing but telling a lie. Right. Up until the day he was on Larry King Live, that's when I stopped judging. Because even myself, here I'm saying I'm innocent. People wasn't believing it. Man, you in here, they had to have something on you. You had to be the one that done it. But here I was doing the same thing to that person. And I ended up writing one of the best poems that I know that everybody will love. Just it's called The Judging Game. I don't judge nobody no more.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, Vega, we damn near going on 2 hours here. And I don't mind, but I just enjoy the conversation. You know, we steadily, we steadily pulling it back. We steadily digging deeper and deeper off into it. Now we know the name of the book, Notes from Behind the Wire. We know that you're working on getting it printed up, pressed, ready to go for release. That book is going to be a bestseller, I can assure you. I'm just speaking that into existence right now for you. I feel it. I understand what you're putting into it. You're putting your life into it. You're putting your experiences into it day for day. 27 years behind bars. Yes, that's impact. That's commitment. That's discipline. And within all of that, you may not necessarily reap the benefits of the judicial system giving you your just due, what you're constantly working for every day, complete exoneration and a pardon from the governor. But your book, your story, your testimony, that's going to bring you so much grace, my friend. That's going to put you in such a different category when it comes to your story really hitting the ground running and people picking that story up and saying, whoa, wait a minute. This really happened? This really happened present day. You told me yourself before we came on to the live, you said, you know, from the first interview that we did, and we're going to have the same effects because we're going to keep building on this thing. Yeah. That, you know, You tell them, you tell the audience. You know what I'm saying? You didn't expect it to do what it did, and people are coming up to you, telling you what?
Man, I did not know all of that, man. Man, I never believed that you was guilty anyway. Man, I've been getting approached, man, in stores, curb markets, everybody, man, they've been reaching out to me, and they were really amazed, man, about that interview last week. They were really amazed.
Right.
I really thank you for letting me be on your podcast. I really do, because I've always wanted my story to get out.
Right.
But like I say, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that they have plenty of folks out there, but we're going to dissect and jump into your story, Vega, and hopefully folks can understand that this is serious business. We like to get on here, have good conversation. And it's not that we're trying to bring anything down but no, we want to have an upbeat conversation about all of this and make people understand that, hey, man, if I was guilty, I wouldn't approach it this way. But I want people to know what's going on. I want my story. I want the fingerprints that the SBI have, the State Bureau of Investigation in North Carolina have, that can show and exonerate me from, this bullshit. We need to let it be known. And the only way that happens is if we keep pressing forward with putting out and disseminating information about your case so that people can see your side of the story. This isn't Galen's side of the story. This isn't Big G's side of the story. This is
them fingerprints, palm prints, that hair, that blood that was found under Miss Bundy's fingernails, all that stuff disappeared when it came time for my case to be looked at and for them to do the DNA, because the state lab said it didn't match. All we needed was that evidence and compared it with that DNA. And that right there would have exonerated me, and I would have been able to be compensated.
But it's still available present day. The SBI have not destroyed the evidence at this point, I'm sure.
They use that evidence to do them state lab reports.
Right. So they still have it on file. Somebody somewhere somehow is still on file, and there are different ways that this can be approached.
I got those state lab reports in here. I have those state lab reports in here somewhere. I got so much stuff in here. Trial transcripts, state lab reports. But those state lab reports alone, it shouldn't even.
Yeah, so through emotional discovery, of course, you're gonna have benefit of everything. Your lawyer would present that, or the Innocence Project gathered all of those transcripts and information from all of the courts.
Yeah, they have everything. Yeah. Before you go, before you sign off, I want to say something concerning judging people. What broke me from judging people? I just want to recite something to you. It says, "Today my heart is heavy and I'm feeling blue. Instead of judging myself, I've been judging you. I can always seem to find something wrong, be it the way you preach, the way you teach, or the way you sang that song. Yet the other day you might not thought I heard the way you expressed some very harsh words. That's why I was quietly always sitting in the pew, because I didn't want to be labeled a hypocrite like you. And even though I was occasionally sinning, I started to believe that I was the better Christian. But God's words revealed that I was doing what a Christian ought not do. I must first remove the plank from my own eyes. For Matthew 7:1-5 surely enlighten me. For the same measures I used to judge my brother, the same would be used to judge me." Thank
you. Okay. All right. So before we get off this thing, and I appreciate that. What are you doing with all of these writings, these lyrics, this music? I mean, how are you getting this out to the world, Vega?
I have like 40, 50 songs that I've written that I've just never done anything with. And I did a couple of things with AI as far as writing my lyrics, and they put music to it, but I could do it myself. But everything that I've ever written comes straight from the heart, man. And somebody told me, "Man, I can tell you got some deep pain inside of you just through your writings."
Well, you need to. I tell you what you do, man. Get with Terry Allred. right? Get with my brother Terry Allred, and let's start having some conversation, man, on how we can start getting you situated with getting your and we just talked about this the other day. You mentioned something about a nonprofit organization. We're talking about business structure and all that stuff just the other day. But getting some things set up for you in Greensboro, getting your music registered the right way, getting all your copyrights in place. Let's talk about taking some steps to whereas you begin to win off of your intellectual property and your creations. I do believe that what you have is so overwhelming when it comes to what you could pull together just through your story alone. You know,
Yes,
it's
sir.
it can you can reap benefits, but you have to start planting those seeds now so that it begins to make sense later on, and you can begin to harvest from the fruits of your labor because you're planting those seeds now. So we're having a conversation, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know we were going to get this deep off into me wanting to talk to you on a regular, consistent basis about what you have going on. But I do. And I do because I believe in your story. I believe in you. I believe in what you're wanting to get accomplished. And I know you're going to get that goal done. So let's figure out different ways to assist you in carving out your career as it relates to music, as it relates to your writing, as it relates to everything, so that it begins to make sense for you in the long run, man. And it's not like it takes a long time for this stuff to happen. These things happen overnight. Creating your website, creating the landing page, well, getting your business stuff in place first, and then creating, because all of it can happen at the same time, and then creating the website, the landing page so people can go to your site, buy your merchandise or your products, buy your books, buy your apparel, read your story, because that's where you want to put your story. I understand we're doing it in a digital format. You're going to put it in a book form, audio book, the whole 9 yards. We're aiming towards that. But you want people to be able to go to, when they type in Damon Vega, your page comes up, and guess what? They can read your story. They can get a newsletter from you. They can make contributions and donations. They can sit there and support you. They might be lawyers that want to do things pro bono to sit there and fight for your exoneration. There are all kinds of ways that this can happen to help push your whole situation forward, Vega. You know what I mean? Me just sitting here thinking about it. I know there got a lot of other people that are going to chime in and say, hey, man, I got some great ideas that we can make this work. And they're willing to help you, man. And we're here in support of you. Yeah.
Yes, I need it. Yeah, I've always said that when anything ever goes good for me, that I'll always make a promise to always donate a little to the kids that have cancer. That's one of the main things that I would always want to do, to always make sure that I'll be able to donate some of my proceedings to kids that have cancer. Always, that's the main focus. If anything ever happens good for me, to make sure that I'm gonna keep that promise.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me say this, and it might sound a little off, but the good thing that has happened so far, my brother, is that you're free. That's number one. So all of the other things can actually happen. You can make that happen because you're free. You have the freedom to move, the freedom to network and execute your blueprint, your plan, your goals, working that mission statement out. You can do it. So number one, hey man, you're free. That's the blessing in itself. So outside of that, like I say, man, I'll sit there and talk to you all day, Vega, but we're not gonna do that. I appreciate those closing words from you in reference to judgment. You know what I mean? That was very powerful, impactful. People are going to go back. I'm going to actually cut that snippet out. I'm going to cut that. That's going to be my segment. That's going to be the segment I'm going to run with when I push that segment out for this particular interview. Because you see, that's one thing. And like I said, Vega, when I shoot this out to you, you're going to have to collab with me on the IG, man. You got to collaborate with me. All right? Look like you done froze up on me. Yeah, he done froze up. Yeah, man, we had a great conversation with Damon Vega. Let me see if we can get him back on here before we get out of here. Yeah, he didn't. His phone must have died on him. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, first and foremost, God has blessed me and my family in abundance and in so many different ways. And I'm not just talking about financially. I'm just talking about just in knowing that, I love my family. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love everything that's going on. I love my friends and people that I network with. And it's not cliche. I'm not just throwing it out there. This is real in terms of knowing that at the top of the year, we made a declaration of what we're going to do with the podcast, right? We made a declaration of what we're going to do with the podcast and coming to you 3 days a week. You're back. Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
Can you hear me,
What happened? Yeah, what
I
happened?
don't know. You froze up on me, man. There you go. So I'm glad you're back before we close out. A declaration to our people and to our audience, and really to myself, that I was going to get on here and do this 3 days a week. Braswell said he was game to come on Wednesdays, and then from there, it turned into every day. And then within that, time slots have been filled. Great stories, great information, great people, great conversations. Like I said, that's just a godsend to know that you have a wide variety of stories that are out there that are waiting to be told, and people trust you enough with their lives, because that's what's happening right now. They trust you enough with their lives to put their story out on full display and be cordial about it. You have a lot of hosts that like to poke shots and really, turn it over in terms of flipping the script and trying to be slick. No, man, it's just real good conversation with real good people. If I didn't believe in Vega's situation, he wouldn't be on here with me. I'm gonna just let you know that, Damon. What's that, Damon?
So much, Gary. Oh, that's
that's the book. That's the book.
Yeah, Notes from Behind the Wire.
Notes from Behind the Wire. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just wanted to show you the front cover.
That's the front cover. Okay. And we're gonna work on that, man. We're gonna get that going. But as I'm closing out, man, I'm just letting folks know what's going on, Earl Hempstead. What's going on to my beautiful wife? She just joined the live. I'm just letting you know that, I talk about things and I talk to people that I know I want to get to know. And like I said, I'd be a fool to try to get someone on here that I didn't believe was innocent.
Yeah,
and
try to have a conversation like that.
and fight for their freedom. And then at the end of the day, when we find out that it's a bunch of bullshit, got egg on my face. You know who did that? I'm saying, do you remember who did that? It wasn't the same type of a situation, but it was a situation. What's his name? He was fat, but now he's skinny. Al Sharpton. You remember that?
I remember Al Sharpton.
Al Sharpton stood up for Tawana Brawley. Tawana Brawley swore a particular situation. Al Sharpton went down there. He rallied the troops. He got everybody fired up and marching and talking about her innocence, and this is what's happened to her, and we want justice. And come to find out, nothing happened at all. So,
I remember that.
You have to be mindful and feel this when it touches my spirit, when God speaks to me about things, and I listen, and I listen intently. And Terry already called me and he said, man, G, you got to hear this story, man. And then when you and I began to talk and have conversation about what you're experiencing, what's going on, and then you let me know, and it's not necessarily because of Duke University. I'm just saying that just adds to everything as it relates to your innocence. Then there's no way that I could sit there and stand by and know that somebody's in your situation and needs assistance. I can't just sit by and not do what I can do and help present your story to the world.
I thank
So
you
that's
so
what we're
much,
doing,
Galen. I
Vega.
really do, man. You're a godsend, man. You're a blessing.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate that. And let's get it across the finish line first. How about
Let's
that?
do it. Let's do it.
Let's get it across the finish line. Let's start doing what we have to do to make some things happen for you, as it relates to your book, as it relates to your music, as it relates to figuring out what we need to do to help pursue you getting exonerated on this case. And we're gonna keep on talking about it, man. We're gonna figure out the next availability that you want to get on. What are you doing next Thursday?
Right here with you if you want me.
Okay. Yeah, I do. Let's lock that in. Let's lock that in. You and I, we're gonna every week on Thursday, you and I gonna sit there and engage in conversation. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about bits and pieces of the case. We're gonna sit there and sift through some things. You and I off camera can talk about, what we want to present. What are some key elements that you want to sit there and discuss? Because you and I really just have conversations about what's going on. And I'm picking and prodding and peeling back the scab on some things that have happened, to you in prison. And there again, I mean, I'm not trying to tiptoe around anything. It is what it is, so
it is what it is.
So, we can get into that conversation, but at the same time, I don't want to talk about 27 years of prison.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about 27, 30 years out and what you're going to do now. What's next? What we doing to improve the situation? You get what I'm saying?
That's right. That's what I want to talk about too.
Okay. We're going to tell a story. Because that's the meat and potatoes. We're going to tell the story because that part is crucial. It's vital. It's important because of what happened and how it went down. But now that we accepted the fact, we can't do nothing about that. But we can fight towards what we can do. What we can control, we're going to control. And that's moving forward and getting some things done in the future. Can we agree on that?
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Okay. Good stuff, man. And I will see you here next Thursday with the follow-up. What's going on, my sister Shay? How you doing, ECEO Brand Songs? I'm just looking at all of these folks that are on here today, man. We got a nice little crew of folks that are paying attention and are tapped in and locked in.
So everybody, I said thank you.
Yeah, they can hear you, my brother. They can hear you. And Damon, I appreciate you, man. We locked in for next Thursday, man. We're going to keep this Damon Vega story going. We're going to keep it rolling, and we're going to keep it high in their face because we want them to smell it. We want them to smell this shit so bad, you know what I'm saying, that they got to sit there and goddamn change out some shit. They got to change some things. They got to change their ways. Change 27 years and you're innocent? Brother, look here, man. I appreciate you, Damon. And to everyone that has joined us, thank you. Oh, I must say this. I got to say this because I always show love to my people. What we do about this time, man? Make sure you subscribe to Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Prime Time. And this is what we do about this time, man.
It's about that time. We decided we were going to do something a little bit different today, add some different elements to what we already do. It's going down, man. I'm trying to figure out ways to break the algorithm, man. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to all our channels, all our different platforms. Boss Talk 101, Boss Talk 101 Prime Time. It's crazy. We got to get it done, though. Boss Talk 101, what the boss is talking.
And make sure you tap in with my good man, comedian Jarrell Braswell at www.jbcomedy.
Hey, what it do, world? It's your boy, comedian JB, the real J Braswell, comedian J Braswell. Hey, dig this. I got a website, man. Tap in at jbcomedy.com.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, you have been tuned into another great episode of Industry Talk here on the Prime Time Network. My good man, Damon Vega, will be joining us here next Thursday to follow up on what we've been talking about. First-degree murder, 27 years incarceration, innocent. Y'all go do the math. Y'all make me understand it. But at the same time, we can do something about it now. Damon, I appreciate you, man. Look forward to talking to you next week. And let's keep this thing rolling. All right? Yes, indeed.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You guys, yes, sir. You guys know with me, man, as always, it's about health, wealth, and wellness. Stay tuned. What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G. And this is my personal invite to all of you to join me on Industry Talk on the Prime Time Network daily at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I get into great conversations with entrepreneurs, artists, industry leaders, you name it, we bring it to the table. So make sure you tap in with us, lock us in, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We stream on all major platforms. And be sure to visit us at gemsitpublishing.com. This is Industry Talk. Let's get into it.
Motion.